Hello, and welcome, my friends, to the next video in the Create Better Content series, where I show you how to tap into your creativity so that you can stay consistent with your marketing and reach more customers. My name is Penny, and I'm going to be your guide through this unique content development process. I want to teach you how to create more engaging content to post, social media, sales pages, email sequences, all of those things that you use to reach qualified customers. And if you want to learn more about creativity and how this can help you develop your content marketing plans, I would love to see you hit that button below and subscribe to this channel. And below in the description box, there are a few links down there. One of those links is for the Content Calendar Blueprint program. This is an email-based training. It's a comprehensive guide that's going to show you how to develop a content calendar, and it's going to be based upon what your business needs and your growth stage. And the best part of this program is that you have access to all of the paths to develop your marketing strategy. So when you're ready to go to the next level and you're ready to launch a program, you can always come back to the same program and click on a link, and it'll take you to a content calendar development strategy process that's going to be where your business needs it at this time. And another link that you're going to see is so that you can subscribe to the Marketing Strategy Collective program. This is my group program where we get together on Patreon, where you can go through the process of developing remarkable content, and you don't have to do it alone. You can do it in a supportive group online space. So you see the links below, and you know what to do to learn more. Alrighty then, let's jump into this today. Because, as always, I want to talk about marketing, but I want to talk about something real specific with regards to marketing. And I'm going to say this loud, and I'm going to say it proud, and I'm going to say I can speak to this from personal experience. Marketing is exhausting. I mean, that's how business owners feel right now. I'm very well aware of it. I feel it myself. I know that my clients are feeling it. They feel burnt out. They feel uninspired. I get people telling me how they just feel like they're just showing up because, we're supposed to show up. And this entire time, everybody's just wondering what's working. And if you feel like you're tired of marketing too, I want you to know, and this is what I want to talk through today. I want to talk through about this idea because you being tired of your marketing work has nothing to do with how much of this work that you're doing, but it has everything to do with what parts of this work that you are doing. It's not about how much you can, crank out every single month, how many social media posts, how many YouTube videos you can create, how many reels. It's about what you are doing and if it's aligned with your business goals and your customers. So I want to talk through this today because I always get the impression, especially from the client conversations that I've had, and just, I go out to these events, and a couple months ago I spoke at an event, and then I had a whole bunch of people coming up to me after the event, and this is the kind of stuff that they wanted to talk to me about. It wasn't about, I don't have a plan, I don't have a strategy. It just says, marketing just feels like burnt out. I just feel burnt out, and I don't know what to do to get back on track and to get momentum. Because here's the thing about burnout. Burnout is not you just having a physical, mental, emotional breakdown. Because sometimes this burnout looks like you waking up on Monday and you just dread the fact that you've got to create some content, and it's for your own business. You should be excited about this. That's what burnout looks like. Burnout is when you're constantly second guessing about what to post or say. So you just throw up a quote there because you want to be able to say that, follow me on Facebook, and you want to make sure that there's something there on your Facebook page. That's burnout. Burnout is when you feel like you're doing all the right things, and that was in scare quotes, right things, but you're watching, crickets. And your results are it's just not working the way that you want. You're spending hours on this content and it's not coming together for you. So what I just described is not a person who's lazy. It's not a person who's not disciplined about what you're doing. This burnout that I'm talking about is that your marketing is out of alignment. And I get the feeling that nobody really talks about this enough, because from the outside, here you are showing up, you're posting, you've got your content calendar, you might even be getting some engagement, and everything looks fine. But inside, when you sit down at your computer and you open it up, open your laptop in the morning, you feel like you're running on fumes. And so if the strategy looks good, if the strategy looks good on the calendar, it looks like it's happening on social media, why isn't this working? Because sometimes, here's the thing, folks, it's not that the strategy is bad. It's just that it's not the right strategy for your business. Maybe you're following a template or some sort of, video trend that you saw on TikTok, and that's not what's matching where your customers are, who your customers are, and what they need from you. Doing something like that with a strategy that's not playing to your strengths. So maybe you're trying to force yourself to do videos and you don't feel comfortable being on camera. So your voice goes up and down and you just don't sound confident. So people aren't going to watch your videos because they don't feel like that this is something that, that they can get some value from. So if your strengths are writing, why are you forcing yourself to create videos when you should be, doing blog posts? And you could post blog posts everywhere. It's not just your website. You can put blog posts on LinkedIn. You could put blog posts on Substack. There's all these places out there where you could be sharing your written words. So this is what I mean by the strategy. It's not that you've got a bad strategy. Maybe it's just that it's not playing to your strengths and who you are, who your business is, and who your customers are. Because a lot of times when we're sharing our content out there, we're just, trying to move through this. We're trying to push through this as like it's just one more thing on our to-do list. And a lot of times it's just going to require more time or energy than you realistically have. So we're pushing through it, trying to get it done. And at the end of this, we're not really putting out the real message that we should be sharing. We're really not talking to our community and our customers the way that we should be talking to them. Our strategy isn't rooted in your voice, your vision, your business, your customers. And so when you think about it from that place, of course it's going to feel like a grind. Of course it's going to feel exhausting, because what's happening is what you think is a motivation problem in trying to change your mindset shift. That was hard to say. Changing a mindset shift. Maybe it's that your strategy is not in alignment. Maybe you're not just tired of marketing. You're tired of marketing that doesn't feel like you and your business. So what can we do about this? It is that time of the year. It's the middle of the year where we really start thinking about a mid-year review. And a mid-year review is actually the thing that you need, especially if you're finding yourself in this space that I'm just describing. When you're talking about what's draining you and how you're tired and how you're exhausted. So let's talk about this. I want to talk about how a mid-year review can actually help you fix this before you get so burnt out that you just throw up your hands and you're like, that's it, I'm done, no more. Because that's not going to help your business either. Because if we look at it from this place, I want you to realize that doing a mid-year review is not about checking your metrics, especially your vanity metrics. I mean by vanity metrics, I'm talking about the number of followers, the number of likes that you have. That's not what's important. It's about understanding what's going on in your strategy, and is it aligned with your business goals? Is it aligned with where your customers are and how we're going to move them through just becoming aware of your business, into looking at considering your business as an option, into actually working with you or buying from you? So when we think about a mid-year review, some of the things that we want to ask ourselves and we want to think about is, are the social platforms that you're on, or even the content funnels that you've created, are they Do they feel good? Do they feel like that's something that you're sharing of value? Are you dreading it? Do you feel like it's a chore? And like I said, this is also connected to your strengths. And I spoke about this earlier in the in today's video episode about how if you are a really, really good writer, but you're trying to force yourself to do videos and you just feel uncomfortable doing videos, or you don't like to hear your voice, you don't like to see yourself on video, and all those things, all those excuses are, and you feel so cringeworthy about it, it's going to come across in that video. But if you are a really strong writer, look for opportunities for you to keep writing and to keep sharing it on platforms that feel good to you. So that's a really big piece of doing a mid-year review. It's about checking out where you are right now, the platforms that you're using, and do they feel good? Do they feel like a chore? Does it feel like something that really resonates with your strengths, who you are in your business? Another thing I want you to think about when you're doing a review is ask yourself, where are you spending the most time? And where are you seeing these results? Because if you're spending a lot of time on a social platform, but you're not getting any results, and maybe once a month you do a real quick YouTube shorts and you seem to get a little bit more out of that, then take a look at that. Your review is going to let you see that, because when you can start to review each one of the social platforms, you can actually look at things that are post specific, and you can see which posts are doing well. You can see which social platforms are doing well, because each one of the social platforms has their own built-in analytics. So you don't need to pay for an expensive program to run analytics for you. You can go to each one of your social platforms and you can look at your own the analytics that are connected to that platform. And you can see if you're spending your time someplace and not getting results, but if you're spending your time in another space and you are seeing results, that's the review that you're looking at. That's the opportunity to make changes to your strategy. And while you're looking at this, start studying the messages. Are they resonating with the people that you want to reach? So if you keep posting and you're just getting your friends and your family and not new people and customers, you are not reaching potential customers. So you want to think about, should you go to another platform where you know your customers are hanging out? Do you want to change your messaging? Do you want to look at everything involved in your messaging? The images, the headlines, the call to action, all of those things that we can take a look at, which we'll do in our mid-year review. Because the thing is, you want to ask yourself, am I creating content, or am I creating content for my customers? Am I creating content just to show up in an algorithm? Or am I creating content to connect with people who are going to buy from me? See, that's two different ways that your strategy could be working. And I'm going to guess, just guessing here, folks, that you are trying to create content to get people to buy from you, not just to trigger the algorithm. So that's another thing that your review is going to do. You're going to be able to start seeing what content is resonating. And if none of your content is resonating, this is that space for you to start to unpack what's going on. Is it the image? Is it the headline? Is it the call to action? Is it the copy? All of those things combined is what gets people to take action, is what gets people to stop scrolling and to read what it is that you've posted up, or to watch the video, or to whatever the action is that you want them to do. And another thing that I want you to think about as you're doing a mid-year review is, have your business goals shifted? Because we can start out someplace in January and things can totally change 6 months down the road. The economy can be changing. Something can be happening within our customer base themselves. Things that we may not have planned for in January are now taking effect in June. So that means if things are shifting for our customers, then our goals should be shifting too. I mean, obviously if your goal is to raise money, or make money, it's still to make money. But I mean, maybe your goal is the platform that you're on and how this is going to help you get more people on your email list. Or maybe you realize that the goal shifted, that you need to get more people to move away from the social platforms to your website. Those are the things that I'm talking about. And if your goal has shifted because of what's going on around you with your customers, as maybe the economy and all these other things, and maybe your content hasn't quite caught up to it yet, and you're still talking to them as you would have in January when your goals were this one place, but now you've moved to this other place. So do you see what I mean about taking a mid-year review? And it's about doing more than just seeing how many people are following you. The questions that I just went through, and I didn't just give you a list of questions. I got real specific about why you want to ask those questions and what it is that you are looking for. Notice not once did I say how many times you're posting. I'm talking about the what you're posting, because these questions that I just went through, and if you want to go back and hear that part again, I highly recommend that. These questions, when you can answer them and you answer them honestly, you're going to start to see where the disconnect happens. You're going to start to see where's that place where it's not reaching your customers where they need to be. And this is that time when we can sit down and, okay, so this is not working. We don't just start everything from scratch. What we can do is tweak the plan, we can move the plan, we can shift the plan so that it actually starts to working better for your business. Because the goal here with marketing, especially if you're feeling tired and exhausted and burnt out, it's not for me to tell you to hustle harder. It's not for me to tell you to show up more. I want you to show up. I want you to show up with clarity, with purpose and intention. And so that's what your mid-year review is going to do. I want you to think about all of those questions that I said. And if you want to move through this, I keep wanting to say something, but I'm just going to say it. Here it is. Here's what I get. And this is coming from me working with a whole bunch of clients and customers throughout the years, and teaching and being in business panels and going to events and all of that stuff and having these kinds of conversations. One of the biggest things that I've learned is we're just not taught as business owners how to do this kind of marketing. We're taught about, do more. It's our marketing consists of how many more videos can you create this week? How many times can you post on Instagram? How many reels can you do? And I think that's part of the problem. I think that's the problem, is that when we look at it from a numbers place, and again with, checking our vanity metrics, we're checking numbers where we should be talking about the content. We should be talking about our customers. We should be talking about what's going to work for your business. So I really want to recommend that you do this. It is June. This is the time of the year to start doing something like this. Block off your time to do a mid-year review. Don't wait until December at the end of the year and realize that all of these things could have been fixed had you spent some time in June really going through what was working and what wasn't. And audit your content. Take a look at everything. What's working, what's not working. Use those social platform analytics. Use those insights to your advantage to see what's going on. But it's not just about what's going on with the social platforms. I want to ask you what's going on with you. Let your review also let you audit your content for your energy. What feels good? What feels like a chore? What feels like something that's not your strength, that's working against your strength? Because when you start to realign your strategy with your strengths and your goals, it no longer feels like a chore. It no longer feels like something like, oh my God, I gotta do this again. And it comes across when you are sharing your content with us that you don't feel good about. So when you get clear on what's working and learn how to release the rest, this is when you start to have that energy back. This is when you start to feel good about your marketing again, and it doesn't feel so exhausting. Because marketing doesn't have to be like some grind. Marketing, it's on my to-do list. It's something that you can be excited about. It's something that you can be creative with. And it's something that you can have fun with. But it starts with getting honest about what's working and what's draining you. Because sometimes what you need isn't just, to post more. You don't need to keep adding more social platforms into your marketing mix. You don't need to just do more videos, do this. You need a marketing plan And you need to think about the growth action steps that you can take to make your plan happen. And June, this time, 6 months into the year, is a perfect time to think about how you can regroup and align yourself with what your business needs, what your customers needs, and get intentional before that second half of the year picks up, and the next thing you know, you're in the same place that you were January, and things have shifted so much, but your business and your marketing haven't. And you don't need to scrap everything and start over. You just need to know what's working. You need to do your mid-year review to see what needs to be tweaked, and then how to take all of this information to move forward with your marketing with more clarity, more purpose, and intention to reach more customers. So thank you so much for joining me today on this creative journey. If you've enjoyed this content about content development, I hope you'll hit the share button. Let's keep this conversation going. And if you found this helpful, I would love to see you subscribe so that you don't miss the next video. I'm going to continue talking here, real strategy, real results for marketing for small business owners like yourself. And if you're looking for a content plan and you want some help with this every single month, I'd love to see you join us in the Marketing Strategy Collective. We don't just talk strategy, we're actually talking about your business. We could talk about how you could do your own mid-year review and how we can show you that just doing more than just tracking following numbers is going to help you grow your business. We've got real support to help you stay consistent. We've got monthly Zoom meetings. We are here for you so that you can stop working in a solo bubble and work in a collaborative space to get the help that you need and to stop feeling overwhelmed with your marketing. You are magnificent, my friend, and let me be the first to say, I'm proud of you. Until next time.